Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. So, I come to you today, talk a little bit about my past. It was a past experience. Happened, I personally hiked the Appalachian Trail from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Mount Katahdin, Maine, 2,200 miles. I did it 6 months. And so I had some people. There was these people who are curious, and they're wondering about terrorist camps out in the wilderness and stuff. Okay, there's terrorists at home here on American soil. Okay, there are terrorism camps, is what they call it. Encampments and all this kind of stuff. Now, are there terrorist camps where these people are being training up the children from a young age to be able to shoot and train and like basic training their whole life and all this kind of stuff? No. None of that's out there along that Appalachian Trail. But now there is. When you're hiking through Virginia, when you're hiking through the state of Virginia, it's a long hike through Virginia. But you start getting up around Port Royal, Virginia, Northern Virginia, right there, closer to Maryland, Virginia, around in that area. Washington D.C, I can't remember if it's 60, I believe it's 60 to 80 miles to the east of that location. Port Royal, Virginia, Maryland, about 60 miles away from Point Royal. I recall seeing a sign there that said Washington D.C, an arrow pointing down this highway around that particular area along the Appalachian Trail. Now, in that area, there are camps. Okay, but now these are not, I don't know if you would classify them as terrorists. Okay, some of these people they were heavily guarded compounds out in the wilderness. One of them was right backed up to the Appalachian Trail. But there's an encampments that go around Washington D.C. there. Kind of does like a horseshoe motion around Washington D.C. right around in that area right there. There's a horseshoe of terrorism camps is what they call them, encampments. Okay, now there was one particular location I seen and witnessed where there were tents set up. There was a big privacy fence. You couldn't see much on the other side. They had it was a semi-private privacy fence there. The fence was 12 foot tall, and it had these little things where you couldn't see through the fence. It had little white, not sure what you call it, white things in the fence, in the wire fence. It's like a little plastic pieces in between the wire mesh of the fence where you can't see through. It's semi-private, and there was a security camera there on one of the fence posts, one of the metal fence posts that had barbed wire on top of the fence. And there was a little extended on a metal pole. From the top of the fence post was a security camera pointing directly at the Appalachian Trail. Okay, there was a security camera pointing southbound. There was a security camera pointing northbound. Okay, so they had top security, semi-privacy on this compound. You couldn't see what was on the other side. And you know, these people come from different countries, buy up property and land, and build them an encampment. Now, you know, they pay their taxes just like each and every, pay their property taxes, just like each and every one of us do. You hiking along that Appalachian Trail, don't veer off the trail and go on people's private property anyway. Okay, now I've seen and heard situations like this where somebody got a shotgun pulled out on them because they veered off the trail onto someone's private property. Now you don't want to do that. You want to stick to the trail. You never want to veer off, especially if you're there's said to be a great abundance of terrorist encampments in this particular location. Now don't veer off the trail in these particular places. Don't be nosy. Okay? Don't let the curiosity kill the cat. I'm telling you now, these encampments, you're not sure what's going on the other side of that fence right there along this trail. I mean, they own this piece of property, piece of land that runs right next to the trail there. You don't know what's going on the other side of that fence. And quite frankly, it's none of your business. You just keep on hiking. Okay, you never want to go knock on these people's front gate or front door or something like this. Okay, you just want to keep on hiking. Don't be nosy now. But to answer the question, yes, there are terrorism encampments and complexes on the Appalachian Trail, particularly around Northern Virginia, Port Royal, Virginia, right out I believe it's 60 to 80 miles from Washington D.C. There's a horseshoe of different encampments around Washington D.C. right there in that particular area. Stay away from these encampments. Stay on trail. Don't veer off the trail. Be nosy. Keep on hiking through. Shalom. Shalom.